Welcome to another Hows and Drows post-game breakdown. Today we're going to talk about Minnesota's humiliating collapse at the hands of the Atlanta Hawks. It's easy to brush over how good the Timberwolves were in that first half because DeJounte Murray and the Hawks steamrolled them in the second half, but they really were fantastic. While most things were working for them, it was their ability to pick apart Atlanta's pick-and-roll defense that opened up what was once a 21-point lead. Straight away, they were torturing the defense with their empty corner pick-and-roll actions. Right off the bat, fake handoff action with Mike Conley and Jaden McDaniels. Gobert comes and sets that empty corner screen, and they get to the line. Again, more empty corner action here. Anthony Edwards is going to clear the corner. Karl-Anthony Towns is going to flash to the middle. The defense is going to confuse itself with all of this, and Edwards is going to get an open look for that weak side three. We'll keep going with a couple more examples of that empty corner action here. We've got Gobert dovetailing with Conley. The important part here is that the defense is stepping up to defend the ball, and that's leaving the roll man with space in behind. Minnesota are feasting on this pick and roll defense. Once again, the defense is hedging out onto Conley. They are really trying to stop the ball at the source, really trying to stop Minnesota's guards and ball handlers from getting downhill. This is leaving Gobert all of this space to work with. Even when Trae Young or another player comes as the low man help, Minnesota are getting easy buckets off good ball movement. And it's not just the empty corner stuff. Minnesota are just tearing the Hawks apart in all pick and roll possessions. Away screen here for Ant. He dances into a ball screen, quick decision with the pass, and it's an open three. They just keep going to it over and over again. The defender is all the way up on this super high ball screen. Anthony Edwards gets past him and then turns into Michael Jordan. Minnesota were moving the ball really well in that first half, but a lot of that was coming from this pick and roll play. This time Edwards splits the hedging defense. They swing the ball to the corner, swing the ball to the wing, backdoor cut, and it's an easy bucket. And when those pick and rolls didn't work the first time, Minnesota would just run it back again. They try to get something going with the Horns flare action here. It amounts to nothing, so Kyle Anderson calls up Gobert and he gets behind that defense again for an easy lob dunk. Now the coaching staff had to expect something to change coming out of halftime. It's ridiculous to think that they could keep doing this all game without Atlanta adjusting. And when they did, Minnesota looked completely and utterly lost. And that's when their offense stalled out and lost them the game. Right away in the third quarter, the defense is now retreating in those empty corner pick and rolls. That's going to take away the roll man and force Minnesota to hit floaters. They did not hit floaters. Again, the defense isn't coming up at the point of attack anymore, it's retreating. Conley and Gobert aren't on the same page anymore, and it's another wasted possession. Minnesota's coaching staff don't make any real adjustments. They just try again with Towns as the screener instead, but Jalen Johnson doesn't leave him for a second. Conley is forced into the lane, but now he has to deal with Clint Capella at the rim. When Minnesota went to those Horns screening actions for Anthony Edwards, the Hawks just did the same thing. And because Edwards couldn't get all the way downhill anymore, this defender wasn't asked to come all the way over as the low man, meaning he was in better position to pick off these skip passes. And these misses and turnovers are leading to easy buckets on the other end, and that's just fueling Atlanta's comeback. So now Anthony Edwards is just probing himself or settling for those switch hunting buckets. He's given up on trying to move the ball like they did in the first half because it's not working and the coaching staff isn't adjusting the game plan at all. Occasionally it was working, but it destroyed all that beautiful ball movement and the Hawks were consistently scoring at the other end and whittling away the lead. Even when Minnesota tried something different, like Mike Conley taking that open three-pointer out of the empty corner action, or trying to get into the teeth of the defense and then make a pass, Atlanta's defensive shell was on a string and prepared for it. They really just choked out Minnesota's entire offense by making that one single adjustment. Ideally, you'd like to see Minnesota's players and coaches come up with something a little more exotic to get looks when something like this is going to happen. On this play, they go to a ghost screen the screener action with Kyle Anderson to try and mix up their pick and roll looks. While the defense still drops down, The early action creates more space around the rim, and Anderson is able to dump it off to Gobert down inside. That was literally the only example of a real change-up though. The Wolves failed to adjust to a simple pick and roll tweak and ended up losing a game by 14 points that they once led by 21 points. That's bad coaching and it's bad on-floor management by the players, and it really leads to a pretty bad loss even early in the season. In the future, they need to come up with some actions that get more buckets more easily without relying on isolation ball or simple pick and roll when defenses specifically crack down on those things. Thanks again for watching this House and Growls post-game breakdown. Please subscribe for more.